However, before I do that, I'd like to call on Professor Rabia Saeed, who is a mentor of the mentors, actually, to give us a short opening remark. Professor, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tariq. It's my pleasure and honor to be here today and to give the opening remarks. Commencing with the first mentorship program, the first mentorship session, which actually was on the 16th of May, 2020, which was the launching actually of the platform and introduction by the founder, Dr. Yakubu Sani Wudil. From that day, this is like 2 years now, AYMP has grown in leaps and bounds, and we have been able to have a lot of achievements and impacts. And so it is only fair to review the impact so far. And as you say in Hausa, I don't appear. So as much as we move along, it is important that we look at what we have done and where we have gone wrong and what we need to, and what we have done right, what we need to keep and what we need to amend. So far, by my counting, I may be wrong, somebody will correct me, I think we've had about 17 sessions. In these 17 sessions, we've also had a newspaper interview. We have had mentioned, I think in 2 radio programs, and we have registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and we have a website. The website, which is still being perfected, and which we hope that when it is up and running, everyone will be able to click on a button on that website and be able to be part of the program financially and otherwise. Additionally, we will be able to apply for grants once with this website is up and running. We would be able to apply for grants and funding and probably a GoFundMe platform. You must agree with me that we have done wonderfully in these 2 years, relying only on our contributions as members of the organizing committee. You will also agree with me that no organization can survive without any funds or without any grants. And so this particular session is timely. And helps us to evaluate ourselves in the 2 years of the program and to help chart a course for the future, having noted the shortcomings and our successes. So it is in this regard that I wish to commend all those that have helped in one way or the other to sustain this particular program and see to its sustainability. So I say, hooray, AYMP, long live AYMP, long live mentors and mentees, and long live our country, Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that concise and very interesting opening remarks. As always, we really acknowledge your presence in our midst. You've been mentoring us right from day one, so thank you very much. Right, so we'll move on to our next agenda for the day, which is to hear from our mentors. I would also like some of our beneficiaries that are here today to use the raise hand option on Zoom. That way, once we hear from 4 of our mentors, we can then hear from you. How has the program really impacted in your lives? So please you can start doing that now. And then I'll call on Dr. Yakubu to give us a short remarks and also a brief of his success as well as challenges that he's experienced so far. So I'll pass on the virtual mic to Dr. Yakubu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tariq. This is indeed a remarkable day for all of us, a day in which we come to celebrate our beneficiaries, those mentees who have in one way or the other benefited from the programs of AYMP, and they have secured either admissions, positions, job positions, or scholarships in one country or the other. So I think this is a remarkable achievement, but I will not talk much on that. I'm sure Dr. Fauzia and Dr. Mariam will talk about that in detail. But my only point maybe will be in the areas of organizing the program itself, the AYMP. Indeed, organizing such a program for this long time, almost I think 2 years or around 2 years back, we have been having sessions one after the other. There are some challenges here and there, of course, but the main challenge that I would like to point out, especially to our mentees, is that the issue of succession. I mean, of course, there will be a time limit which we can be able to continue to hold this session, these programs. So what we want to see is to be seeing the young hands, our junior brothers and sisters. They should come and join us, so that in not too distant future, they will take over from us. I think this is very important. Secondly, also, I would like to commend the effort of the organizing committee, the members of the organizing committee, really. Maybe you can see 1 or 2 faces in the program, maybe Professor Dr. Tariq and Fauzia, but actually the effort is a collective one. It's a teamwork really, and it's really, I would like to commend their efforts. They have been doing so much behind the scene. I mean, they have played a lot of roles. So really, we have to give kudos to them. And also the mentors. There are also mentors, around 50 of them. We are about 50. They have all contributing in one way or the other. So I would like us also to thank them, especially Professor, I know in her closing remarks, maybe we'll mention that. We have about 50 mentors who have been sacrificing their time, their efforts, even financially, just to see the success of this program. So we really appreciate you all. I will not take much of time. I think our organizers are here. They will have much to see. So I will hand over the mic back to Dr. Tariq to commence the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think yes, it's very much good to acknowledge all the hardworking brains that really contribute towards making this program a success. So we really appreciate that. And in terms of challenges, you've mentioned the need for continuity. I think it's very important for most of our brothers and sisters, as you've mentioned, to really actively get involved and really take the reins of the leadership, should I say, or the organization of these mentorship program, because what we want is over time, when we're not there, for this to continue. So we'll look out for your emails, your messages to, do please actively get involved. Thank you very much. So next I'll call on Dr. Mariam. I think Dr. Mariam has a few slides to share. She'll, briefly talk us through some of the challenges as well as the successes that she's experienced so far. Thank you. Dr. Mariam, over to you.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm going to share the slide, Dr. Tariq. Thank you. Is that visible?
Yes, it is. And yes. Should I also just mention that you've got 3 to 5 minutes, if
okay,
that should be more than enough. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So I would say thank you very much, Arewa Youth Mentorship Program, for organizing such an amazing session. And thank you very much in particular to our organizers, our mentors, the mentees as well. I welcome you all for having to spare some time to listen to us. You've always been listening to us. So my name is Mariam Kashia Garba. Um, just briefly about myself, I hail from Kano State of Nigeria. I'm married with 4 children. I currently work as a researcher and lecturer at Newcastle University here in the UK. And I also work as a lecturer at Bayero University, Kano, prior to this commencing my role at Newcastle. In terms of education, I hold a PhD in statistics, which was from Newcastle University. It was sponsored by Newcastle University at the same time. I have a master's by research in mathematics, which was sponsored by Kano State Government, of course, Concosia, and also I hold an MSc in mathematics, which was sponsored by a foundation in Lagos, which is called the Stephen Oluwale Awokoya Foundation. I hold a postgraduate diploma in education and a BSc in mathematics. So the reason why I'm mentioning this sponsorship, I think this is really very important to our mentees to see that you can really thrive well and you can really be able to lay your hands on the scholarship opportunities. And I think really that's the aim of this mentorship program, apart from mentoring the youths, also bringing them those opportunities that they can always have benefit of. Other things I'm involved with is mentoring, like the mentorship program for Arewa Youth Mentorship Program. I do quite a lot of offline mentorship to my students and members of the community as well. I have the opportunity to run my own firm, which is the name it's on the slide, doing some educational consultancy services. I volunteer with the Arewa Women in Diaspora, so hopefully we have some audience that are from this organization, and also working as a volunteer with Islamic Diversity Center, which is here in Northeast of the UK. So I was asked really to talk about challenges that I faced during my PhD application or during the PhD itself or after the PhD. But while this sounds practical, I thought I should talk about a mental challenge that I experienced. And this leads us to what is called the imposter syndrome. Really, I would say this is not something people pay attention to, but it does really exist. And it is the kind of feeling where you doubt your own abilities. So you tend to feel like everything is a fraud. Even your own accomplishments are not really, you're doubting them. So, and this kind of feeling of self-doubt and kind of personal incompetence really persist, despite the fact that you've attained maybe a high level of education or maybe experience or even accomplishments. So, and it tends to really affect people who have achieved really high, and it's really difficult. Sometimes you sit back and then you begin to think about how far you have gone, and then start to think about, well, this is a fraud. This is not me. You have that self-doubt. So I would say this is really my greatest challenge throughout the period. So I wouldn't like to talk about challenges of writing a proposal, challenges of having to deal with the culture when I left my country. These are really practical, and I think they have practical solutions. But this is really a mental challenge that sometimes you find it really hard to be able to combat or to be able to deal with sometimes. And until I find a solution, and this leads me to the advice that I want to give you. So the advice is, in order to counter these feelings of self-doubt, you need to really work hard. There is an important need for working hard by our mentees, whatever, even the mentors. We need to really work hard in whatever we do, because I think that's the key to success. To be able to succeed, you have to put some effort into what you are doing. And that leads to also holding yourself to ever high standards. So by working hard, it's like you're putting yourself on top of that ladder. You don't want to be in the middle. You don't want to be an average. You want to be of high standard. You want to be able to get those A stars and first class degrees for you to be able to succeed. And that's really my advice. And that's really a short one. And thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. That's precise, dead on time. Thank you very much. And I think you've also mentioned a very important point, which has to do with mental challenge. A lot of the time when we talk about challenges, we really most of the time think about financial challenges, but this, highlighting that imposter syndrome, I think that's key. And mentioning the need to really work hard and aim for very high standard. I think these are very, very good advice that you've given us all today. So thank you very much. As I've mentioned earlier, do please use the raise hand option, especially for our mentees who have benefited, because we'll hear from 3 more of our mentors, and then we'll move on to you to hear from you. So please do use that raise hand option if you want to say a few things, how you've benefited, what sort of challenges you've faced, and what sort of successes you've gained over the years. So do use that option, please. Next, I'll call on Dr. Fauzia, please. Dr. Fauzia, you're here. I can see you. Your camera's on. You also have about 3 to 5 minutes. If you could keep it to the time, just like Dr. Mariam, really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for having me. I am Fauzia Aduya Kasai. I got my first degree in mathematics from Bayer University, Kano. I have a master's in pure and applied mathematics from African University of Science and Technology, where I got a scholarship from African Development Bank. And then I have a master in statistics, graduate certificate in business analytics, and a PhD in applied mathematics, all from Auburn University. Okay, I work as an IT support specialist in the Nigerian Port Authority, lecturer at Bayer University, graduate teaching assistant at Auburn University, and I work as a data analyst consultant at some companies here in the US. One of the challenges I had was written TOEFL. I know most of our mentors always ask a question about TOEFL, why they don't waive it here in US or UK or other universities that require it. So concern like LSIP, they're going to Turachim. So the first time I wrote, I didn't make it, but I didn't give up. I wrote again the second time and I got it. Also coming here, being the only girl from Arewa in my school was a little bit challenging, but I let that slide. I just focused on my studies, and alhamdulillah, before I finished, we were actually 3 of us. There are a lot of opportunities here in the USA. You just need to write your TOEFL and GRE. Some schools actually do waive the TOEFL when you contact them, but I always encourage people to write GRE because that's what they actually use to reduce the number of applicants when they are doing the admission process. So if you are worried about the cost of the exam, believe me, when you get the funding, you will get your money back. So, and you also earn more. So you just need to kind of save and make sure you do those 2 exams and you get the funding. Well, and another thing I kind of noticed while working for some companies is that they are mostly after your skills, right? Maybe some computer skills or some voluntary jobs you did or some experience. So for example, in my first job, even though you have to have a degree, they were actually looking for someone with an Oracle database certificate, which I was lucky to have at that time, and I got the job. So I will encourage you, especially now that the universities are on strike, try and grab as many relevant certificates as possible by registering in IT school or going on LinkedIn, even YouTube. You can go and learn some skill and so on. Thank you for now. Tariq is over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think you've mentioned, I think we've had a lot of queries, a lot of emails from the mentees about the TOEFL. And I think, yes, of course, it's really challenging, but you've also mentioned that, you just have to study hard. And at the end of the day, no matter how much you spend in writing that exams, you're going to earn even more from that. So thank you very much. At this point, I'll
at the end of time. So I could give myself as an example. Like I could say I'm quite a lucky person because all my education is starting from from secondary school, from university, as well as my tertiary education were all free, thanks to the Nigerian government, as well as some oil and gas company. So you have to program yourself in this life. You have to check what are some of the opportunities available. Like when I first started my secondary school, I was lucky enough. There are some schools within Abuja, like School for the Gifted, Gwagwalada. So they select the best among like peers within each state. So I was lucky enough. All my education, entire education, like I said, from secondary school, university, all were free. So immediately after my graduation from the secondary school, I was admitted to Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi, where I studied petroleum engineering in my bachelor degree. So the first year, I was quite lucky enough to get a scholarship with the total E&P. So my education throughout level 1, 2, 3 to 500 was free. Then still doing my internship, the total still called me to come and work, to come and do my internship with them. Still, it was free. Immediately after graduation, I was serving like 3 months to completion of my service. I still got a job with the Dangote refinery where they trained me for 2 years in India. Still, while I was in the job, I got the PTDF/DRD German scholarship for my master. So I have to leave the Dangote job to study my MSc. So recently I've completed my MSc. So I'm in between the line of whether to return back home or to search for a job, although I've been searching for a job currently, but I'm currently in the challenging phase of my life. Like I said, normally, even before completion of my studies, I do got an offer, but recently, it's like 5 months after graduation, there are no professional jobs coming every day. There is always application interview. But I've come to understand what are some of those skills when you travel to a different environment that is different from your place. So you have to understand the environment. What are they into? All my background was upstream. So here in the Europe, because of the Paris Agreement, most of them are moving towards the renewable energy. So most of the companies, if you're applying, they have to check what is your experience. So I will advise some of the youth. I've posted some, Yakubu Widil as well as myself, I've posted some 9 skills that people need to add on their CV to make a job, to make their CV stand out. I keep emphasizing on the data analysis, some web development courses, some Google analytical thinking. So these are something that people could also consider, as well as the foreign language. Yeah, there are some jobs that currently I've been applying, but most of them will tell you, okay, we need a German level at mother tongue. So how is it possible for someone to learn a language that is not your language at mother tongue? So I believe with time, everything will be okay. So I keep encouraging people to try to learn some of those skills that we posted. I've posted on DevOps, I've posted so many things. So inshallah, everything will be all right. And sometimes I do got a lot of offers for for people maybe within the oil and gas, but unfortunately, we always find it difficult to get people from Arewa that study maybe the chemical engineering or the petroleum engineering. So we'll encourage those that are within this field to always reach out to me with their CV if they have the right skill. So recently, we are quite fortunate to get a job for 2 people in the oil and gas industry with a very good pay. So we tried our best and go for courses, although courses vary from one another. It's all about being lucky. You could study outside, you could study something, and you could get a perfect thing.
Thank you very much. I'll have to cut you short. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And if you could notice, there's a correlation between what we've heard from all our mentors today. And let me make that correction, Ahmed. My line manager used to say, it's not free, but it's paid for. So but it's good, like, you've right from secondary school, your undergraduate, your master's, everything was paid for. And we've seen a similar trend with our other mentors that I've spoken earlier. So what this is really showing us, it's, there are those opportunities available. It's just that, we just have to strive harder. We just have to study harder and, aim for those opportunities, and we'll definitely get it. I think a few weeks ago, I think there were over 1 million jobs that I've seen in the UK that weren't filled. So there's a lot of opportunities, whether it's in terms of scholarships, whether it's in terms of jobs, even though this is a total number which includes some semi-skilled positions, but there's still a lot of opportunities out there. So thank you very much. And what we could also notice is, it depends. And for some people, they might have successes first throughout their lifetime, and then towards a particular point, then the challenges would start. With other people, it's challenge, success, success, challenge. With other people, it's challenges, and then at the end of the day, then you get the success. So whatever position that you are at, there are other people that have been through, and at the end of the day, with challenges, you just have to strive hard, and at the end of the day, that will make you even grow better. So I think I've seen a few hands raised. I'll call on Engineer Aminu Mohammed Suleiman. I'll give you about 3 minutes. So if you could just, be straight to the point, please, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Engineer Aminu Mohammed Suleiman, are you? Yes, please. Thank you. I think we've just unmuted and then it's back unmuted now.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Yes, we can hear you.
Well, firstly, I have to thank you people for guiding me through, which I am currently reporting in my duty post on 12th of July, which I got an appointment with Dangote Cement Industry just of recent before even concluding my youth service. Hello.
MashaAllah, that's excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm completing my youth service. I'm collecting my certificate just July 7th, and I'm reporting July 12th.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations. Congratulations. So how has this helped you? Was it an advert? Was it a mentorship program? How did you benefited from the program?
Yeah, firstly, I subscribed to some sites which usually send us job updates to my mail, which I just applied it. I think it was just me. I applied it and they sent an aptitude test, which I did online. And I was invited for an interview, which I took the interview, I think it's on 9th of June 2022 here in Abuja. And my appointment was sent to me June. It was sent to me June 2022. And they told me
Yes, so, well, congratulations once again. And I think what we'll really advise is for, sorry.
Yeah,
Go on.
Hello, I'm with you.
Right. So yes, what I'm saying is congratulations once more. And what we really want is for you to actively get involved and really help other people. You know, it's helping those that are coming up. You know, that's when
the procedure I use in getting the job done, because the site of the Dangote cement industry is that apply.workable.dangote.com/Dangote. I usually check the site frequently. Just of this, I just went to the site, I checked, I saw the process for graduate training engineers. I applied. Just after 5 days, I was sent a link which I took my aptitude test online. After the aptitude test, it took like 7 days. I was invited for an interview in Abuja. After the interview, I have an experience in cement manufacturing industry because I did my internship here at cement company of Northern Nigeria, Sokoto, which when the way I did the interview, they were impressed, which on 22nd, my appointment letter was sent to me and I accepted the offer, send it back to them.
Thank you very much. I think I will have to cut you off here because we have a lot of people raising their hands. So thank you very much and congratulations once again, and do actively continue to participate, please. I'll call on Dr. Idris Yana. I think Dr. Idris Yana is here with us and he's part of the mentors. Probably he has a few maybe successes as well as challenges that we want to share with us as well. Dr. Idris Yana, are you here?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Dr. Tariq. So yeah, I think the mentors have given their success story. I just would like to engage Dr. Mariam and Dr. Ahmad just to prompt them to say more, especially Dr. Mariam, you work in the UK with 4 children. So I would like to know how you manage living in UK, working and with the children, because this is a serious challenge. I live in UK with just 2 kids and with my wife, and I know how I really struggle. So yeah, I think that will help people, especially people who are planning to study abroad with family. If that's okay, Dr. Tariq?
Yes, thank you very much. I think that's a very good question. I had to bribe mine with iPad to let them out of the way to be able to host this session today. So I think that's a very good question. But I think we'll leave that probably towards the end of the session.
Okay.
Maybe Dr. Mariam would respond to that.
Okay.
But thank you very much for chipping in. Thank you. So what about Dr. Mohsin? Dr. Mohsin, you're here with us as well. Any comments on successes or challenges?
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
And good afternoon or evening. I don't know where you are. Yeah. So I didn't prepare for anything actually, but I think let me quickly also share my success story, which I have written about it and said it before. I'm in Germany, thanks to Allah first and foremost, and to Alhaji Lamido Hamis Ian Tama. Many people are surprised whenever I tell this story. How come Ian Tama, of all people, who is not an academic, or if some people want to argue, an intellectual, something like that. But I met him weeks after I returned from India to Nigeria during a particular US embassy in Nigeria sponsored program where he discussed issues with young academics, and I was lucky to be one of them. So we developed a rapport of a sort. Yeah, we exchanged phone number after the program, and we talked because of my interest in Kannywood film industry. One day I received a forwarded email, WhatsApp message from him about an advert to apply as a Hausa studies lecturer in one university of Cologne, Germany. and a lot of, what requirements and so on and so forth. I didn't take him seriously. I said, well, I wish I could apply for this position. He said, you could. Why not? I said, I didn't have a master's degree in African studies because I did my master's in film and theater. So which is not an African studies in per se. So he said, no, but your track record and so on and so forth is enough for you to get, placed. Just imagine. Yeah. So I went ahead and applied. Just like that, I received a response. So, and the rest is history. So the point is, we should not, why I like to tell the mentors and the mentees this story is how we many a times ignore such messages, such so-called viral messages. We think of them as not being genuine, while many are genuine actually. So suppose I ignored him, something like that, maybe it would have been somebody else here. So the point is, try your luck. You must not have all the requirements sometimes, yeah, but depending on the number of the applicants, probably you have an edge over the rest of the applicants. Even if the other applicant probably has or have all the requirements, but then you have one or another thing that may appeal to the employers, you can get selected. So always be optimistic, and try your luck. Follow it with prayer, and so on and so forth. I hope that makes sense to you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. I think that's important. A lot of the time we get these adverts, and sometimes you just feel, oh, this is, I don't think I would get this, so there's no point in me even wasting my time to put in an application. And I know in the UK and a lot of these advanced countries now are looking, focusing a lot towards equality and diversity. They have a lot of very brilliant minds in a particular team, but then they want someone, say, for example, an African, just so that they could, improve that diversity in their team. So I think there's a lot of opportunities, as I've mentioned earlier. So we just have to keep striving hard to, put in those applications. Yeah. It doesn't matter, you could put in 100. If one comes positive.
Exactly. Yeah. I applied to several universities before this one, of course, and I got rejected, apology, things like that.
Well, and I think with this application as well, it would reach to a point where, if you're really looking, striving for it, it would reach to a point where if you see a rejection letter, you don't really bother because, you've seen a lot of those rejection letters. But then, someday, that positive email or positive outcome would be there for you. So thank you very much, Dr.
You're welcome, Doctor. Thank you for
you're always prepared, so that's why we just call you out of the blue. I've seen 3 hands raised, so I'll call on Ishaq Abdullahi. Ishaq Abdullahi, do you want to share with us? Probably you might be a beneficiary or mentor. You want to share your story with us? Ishaq Abdullahi. Are you here, Ishaq? If not, probably we'll move on to Bello Umar. Again, if you want to share your story, please do use the raise hand option. I'll call on you. Hello. If Ishaq is not there, Bello Umar. Yes, Bello Umar, we can hear you.
Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Can you? Yes, I can hear you. Good day, everyone. First of all, my name is Ishaq Abdullahi Shehu. I'm currently undergraduate student from Kano State University of Science and Technology, Udin. Alhamdulillah, we have learned a lot of things after I have joined this program of Arewa Youth Mentorship. What I've never forget with this program is that, Alhamdulillah, when I was at 200 level, I did not take my own studies like seriously, just to study hard. But after I have joined, I could remember when that time my CGPA goes around 3.8, 3.7, just it is fluctuating. But Alhamdulillah, after I have joined, I get a lot of things to, I get a lot of things to study hard. I study hard, work hard, consult my professors, my teachers, whatever I do not understand. And all those kind of things, I have learned it from this program. I currently now, my own CGPA is about 4.2 to 3. So this thing, I will never forget it. And I'm currently pursuing my own MSc, inshallah, and all the things that we have learned is from this program. So this is the little things that I will never forget with it at this program. Thank you very much. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you Jannatul Firdaus. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you very much. And thank you for sharing your story with us. I think that motivation is very important. Sometimes, when we have something that we're aiming for, then we become more motivated in order to make sure we achieve that particular aim. And we're very much happy that, our program, the mentorship program, has really motivated you towards getting a better result. So thank you. I think we'll call on probably a lady to hear from her side. Do we have Muhammad Fawzia Sani here? Muhammad Fawzia Sani, do you want to share your story with us? Muhammad Fawzia Sani, are you with us? No?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, please. Alaikum salam. I can hear you. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. We can hear you loud and clear.
I'm Muhammad Fawzia Sani. Okay, good evening, sir. Hi there, I'm Muhammad Fawzia Sani.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
But I'm from Nigeria. I get admission this year in Kirazazi University. So, but I did not start my lecture new students day.
I'm finding it difficult to hear. I don't know.
Yeah, she has some challenges with the sound, but I think she's saying like she's Muhammad Fawzia Sani, and she got admission with King Abdulaziz University here in Jeddah, but she's here to start the lectures. That's what she's saying.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good then, and it's good to know that we've made impact. Towards that successful offer. So congratulations and wish you all the best. I'll call on Bello Umar. Bello Umar, do you want to unmute yourself and share a story with us? If not, we'll move on to Lawal Adamu. Lawal Adamu.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Bello Omar, yes. Alaikum salam.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
I am Bello Omar from Arewa local government, the hometown of Northern Premier, Sokoto State. A member, Ahmad Bello Youth Development. I am very interested for being opportunity to be among the participants. I thank Almighty Allah for finding this great association, very commendable for both founders and the members. Being a challenging boy, I encounter with a lot of challenging, and currently now, I don't go to university due to the financial challenges. My father has died since 2015 when I was in SS3, the nearest to write my final exam. Alhamdulillah, two generous persons sponsored me to pursue diploma. I went and I bagged. Currently now, I am having 2 admissions from both state and the Federal University, Usman Danfodio University challenging, where Usman Danfodio University offer me agricultural science, BSc Agri, and the State University Sokoto offer me industrial chemistry. And I don't know how to go to study due to financial issues. How will you help me? This great association, how will this great association help me out, sir?
Well, Yes, I think this is well, of course, it's challenges that you're experiencing, but I think it's not something that we can discuss at the moment. Probably the best thing is to get in touch with Yakubu, Dr. Yakubu, and then offline you could discuss and see how the AYMP could support.
Okay, sir.
That doesn't mean that it's going to be a financial support. It could be all sort of support. So congratulations on securing admission, and wish you all the best. But do get in touch, and inshallah, we'll see how we can support. Thank you. Right, do we have Shamsa Abdullahi here? Shamsa Abdullahi, are you here with us? Part of the beneficiaries from the AYMP mentorship program? Shamsa Abdullahi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
So, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, my name is Shamsa Abdullahi. I'm graduate of computer science from Umar Musaira University. I graduated in 2012, and I work with the Department of Computer Science in Hassan Osman Kasina Polytechnic. So in Hassan Osman Polytechnic, I was opportunity to be sponsored to tertiary education postponed for my master's in Malaysia. So I obtained my master's degree in computer science from University of Malaya in 2020. So through a single post I came across from Arewa Youth Mentorship Program page on Facebook. I applied for PhD scholarship at King Fahd University of Petroleum and Mineral Resources. And finally, on May this year, I was emailed with an acceptance letter saying that I had been accepted for my PhD in computer science at King Fahd University of Petroleum and Mineral Resources. I'm now in the process for applying for my visa with the university. And through interview conducted to me by the university, Dr. Yakubu have been very helpful. He has been very helpful to me. Even now, he has been very helpful. So I'm very glad with the effort from the forum, and I encourage you to do more. So to keep it up, because a lot of people have been benefiting, like myself. So thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that story, and congratulations once again. And as I've mentioned, do get involved, or keep being actively involved, and see how you could also support in helping others to join suit as well. So congrats, and thanks for sharing your story with us. I'll call on, I've seen Suleiman and Abubakar have raised their hands for quite some time. So Suleiman, Abubakar, and then after you, Abubakar and Juma Maywada. If you could briefly, please, because we're running out of time, so briefly, and we'll still have some of our mentors that would chip back in. Suleiman and, yes, Suleiman.
So, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, rahmatullah. Do you want to share your story with us?
Hello? You hear me, please?
Yes, we can. All
right. Okay, it's like I'm having a network problem here. So my name is Suleiman Abubakar. I'm brought up here in Zaria, Kaduna State. I had an NCE in biology chemistry from FC Zaria. I had a BSc degree in chemistry from Bayero University, Kano. I got a first class, so that qualified me to apply for the Kaduna State Merit Foreign-based scholarship, where I got a scholarship. I got a funding to do my master's. So I had a master's in advanced chemical sciences from the University of Liverpool, UK. So while in the UK, towards the end of my program, the period while waiting for my Viva, I started Googling on the internet for universities in the USA that offered a graduate teaching or research assistantship. And I ended up applying to 4 universities: the University of Alabama, University of Delaware, University of Wayne State University, where I got admitted as a graduate teaching assistant. And inshallah, by next month, August 1st, I will be departing Nigeria for my PhD to the Wayne State University. Still while in the United Kingdom, I applied to King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals for my MSc in January 2020. So still while in the University of Liverpool, I got my visa from the KFUPM that I'm admitted, and my visa was secured to go and did my MSc. So around December, I was preparing to leave for my additional MSc from Saudi Arabia. I got an invitation from the Wayne State University that recommended by my department to undertake the interview. So I did the interview on December 14th, and alhamdulillah, on 20th December, I was emailed by the graduate school that I was given admission, which will be supported by as a graduate teaching assistant. Which somewhere around May last month or 2 months so, I went and did my interview for visa interview, which I was thoroughly guided through by Dr. Fauzia Yaka Saido. I have been emailing her since around 2 years back. I couldn't get a response, so I think it was through one WhatsApp group, Northerners in Diaspora. I could be able to, I got her USA number that we started communicating.
Yes, well.
So special thanks to her. And since during my NYSC, because I joined Arewa Youth Mentorship after my degree, somewhere in the middle of my national youth service. So any session we had, I used to follow the facilitators, people that work during the session. I used to follow their LinkedIn profile, their Facebook, and see where they are currently, is it working or like studying. So
Thank you very much, Suleiman, and congratulations on securing your offer. We wish you all the best, and we're very much glad, especially Dr. Fauzia, for being part of this success. So congrats, and thanks for sharing that story with us. Right, so once again, I do apologize. You might see that on the screen popping up. We have 6 minutes, but I will encourage you to please join, and that will be the last, hopefully, inshallah. We'll sort this out before our next session. But then before that time runs out, I think I'll call on Mustafa Mukhtar Aliyu. And then hopefully after that, we'll just rejoin back in, and that would be, then we have more from our mentors. Mustafa Mukhtar Aliyu, do you want to unmute yourself and share your story? Mustafa Mukhtar Aliyu. If not, then Ahmed Rufai. Do we have Ahmed Rufai with us?
Mustafa Aliyu is here.
Okay, then go ahead, Mustafa Mukhtar Aliyu, please. Can you unmute yourself?
Alaikum.
Aminu alaikum salam.
Good afternoon. I'm Ahmad Rufai.
Hello, Ahmad.
Okay, from Kano State.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much. I also graduated from ABU Zaria 2019. So after the COVID period, I went for my service. After I'm done, I've been searching for scholarship up and there, filling a lot of schools. So through this program, I also got admission into King Fahd. And inshallah, by next month, I'll be moving. I'm now processing for my visa. So I have no words but words of gratitude to this great forum.
Congratulations. And we're very much happy for you for securing that admission. And wish you all the best. And again, that doesn't mean you should just ignore what we're doing. Keep being involved, keep being actively involved, and support others as well. Thank you very much. So probably do we have we've heard from just one lady actually. Do you have any other ladies here that would want to contribute? Before Fatima Halilu, do you have Fatima Halilu? Is she part of the beneficiaries? Dr. Udul, do you have any part of the beneficiaries here that we can call in?
Hello.
Hello, Fatima.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Fatima Sleman Halilu, and I joined the forum sometime last year. So before I joined the forum, I have been attempting to secure admissions and scholarships from some universities in the UK, and without any much guidance. So I'm just glad that I was able to discover the forum, and I've been in touch with Dr. Yakubu. He has guided me towards the interviews, because there was a time I was to go for the Commonwealth interview, and I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't have much guidance and an idea of how to go about it. And we talked for about an hour, and he guided me through it. And by the time I finished my interview, the interviewers admitted to me that they were very much impressed with how the interview went, and they wished me well. So for now, I'm just waiting to hear the results, and hopefully it would be well this year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and thanks for sharing the story. And we wish you all the best. Hopefully, inshallah, very soon you'll hear from Commonwealth with a positive response. So we wish you all the best, and congrats for even securing being part of the interview. It's something, because you have to, make it to be able to get to be called for the interview. So congrats for that. I think we have a minute, so once again, if you could kindly just log back in or rejoin, and inshallah we'll hear a few more, and then we'll call it a day.
It's okay now. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. My name is Lawal Adamu. I am recently a graduate from computer engineering from University of Tabuk in Saudi Arabia. So I start following this program, I think this year, that is beginning of this year, and I have learned a lot from it. I think the first program I joined is on Kenu Enemelu Foundation. So, and I learned a lot from that program, and I applied the Tony Enemelu Foundation, and I got the, I was listening among the participants, and still I'm following the Tony Enemelu Foundation. And from that program, I start my business, or I registered my business, that is Laga Innovation Lab. And immediately when I go back to Nigeria, my lab, inshallah, it started been working as an innovation lab. And again, from the Telegram group, I got a link for mentorship program for African machine learning. That is Indaba mentorship program for African machine learning. And I applied that program, and alhamdulillah, I got it. They attached me with one American. So we are communicating now, and he's guiding me and mentoring me about how to apply in American universities, that is for MSc or PhD assistant program. So actually, I learned a lot from this program, and I hope it will be, inshallah, beneficial to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we're really glad that we've been able to make impacts into your life as well, and we wish you all the best hearing from the scholarship that you've applied for, and thanks for sharing your story with us. Right, so there's still a few more, and I can see more even raising their hands. I'll call on Mustafa Mokhtar Aliyu. I think you tried to say something earlier, but then you couldn't unmute yourself. You want to try that now?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. My name is Mukhtar Mustafa Aliyu. I'm from Nasarawa State of Nigeria. I did my BSc at Kampala University, Uganda. which partially was a scholarship from a businessman from our state here. And I was opportune while at Uganda. I had a 50% scholarship to study at Stafford University there at Uganda at MSc Public Health. During my youth service, I was opportune to be a volunteer at a program, a volunteer as a data analyst. With the influence of that, being a data analyst at Kaduna State Primary Health Care Board, I happened to be got an offer with a Health Strategy and Delivery Foundation, which I happened to be their data consultant, data analyst, technical assistant. And presently, I also am a staff, or should I say, I got an appointment with Federal University Dusemma as environmental health officer. And I happened to got an admission still at Brighton University of the UK as a health promotion and education MSc, to be specific, which I happen to be forwarding, deferring the semester because due to financial challenges, I don't want to lose the admission. So I keep deferring the dead year to be able to put some things on board, and then let me see how I can process my visa.
Well, you've mentioned that you've had a lot of successes, so congratulations on that. And if I could remind you all that the aim is for us to really hear from how we've really impacted, how you've benefited from some of these sessions that we've had. So yes, congratulations on your achievements, and thank you for sharing your story with us. Again, if you need any further mentorship, we do offer one-to-one mentorship, as you've heard. I think a lady mentioned that for Yakubu, and someone also mentioned that Fauzia did actually help. So we're very much happy to provide that additional support. Congratulations on all your successes, and we wish you all the best. We'll call on Hawa Mustafa Babra. Hawa Mustafa Babra, you might have a few things that you want to share with us. Over to you, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
I really do apologize coming in late. So I just want to commend you guys for all this efforts you've been putting through, helping a lot of youth. It's really, really commendable. And I wish you all the best. And inshallah, in the near future, inshallah ta'ala, I will be able to present from my expertise or a thing or two. I've been asked to join and do a presentation and I failed, and I'm really apologizing for that. I do have a background on early childhood education and some mentoring. And so I'm an advocate for social justice. Mainly I do for women and children. And so alhamdulillah, inshallah, in the near future, I will be better prepared to do it. Currently, I'm doing my doctoral degree in early childhood education, almost finishing up. So I'm looking forward. And that's all I have to say for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and we acknowledge, how busy a lot of people are. That's fine. Whenever you have the time, as you've mentioned, you're always welcome. And of course, we'll give you the platform to really mentor us all. So thank you very much. Thank you for being with us today. I think we're quarter past, so I think probably we'll still have about 15 more minutes. We'll hear a few more. And then, of course, Dr. Mariam will answer the question that was asked earlier. I'll call on Abba Lawan. Abba Lawan, I can see your hands raised. Abba Lawan, do you want to unmute yourself and share your story with us, Abba Lawan? If Abba Lawan's not close, probably we'll hear from Hafiz Muhammad or Hafiz Muhammad. Abba Lawan or Hafiz Muhammad, both are not here, it seems. I'll move on to Junaid Yusuf. Junaid Yusuf, are you here? Dr. Yakubu, are they able to unmute themselves? Can you hear me?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Actually, my name is Abba Lawan Bukar. I am currently a postdoctoral research fellow at the Department of Electrical Power Engineering, University Technology, Malaysia. I am from Yobe State, and this is my first time of joining this your mentorship program, of which I am very much impressed with the way things are going. Actually, I just want to give a few advice to some of our engineering students on this forum, especially those in electrical, mechanical, and computer engineering, to try as much as possible to learn some of these programming languages, especially the recent Python, MATLAB, and many more, because these programming languages are very crucial, especially PhD program or PhD studies, because when you have basic or sufficient background, sufficient background of programming, you will find it easy during your PhD program. And then those programming language are not usually taught in our Nigerian universities because of limited resources. And in most of these scholarships, they used to mention that programming language is key criteria for selection. So I think this is the advice I want to give.
Thank you.
This is my first time of joining.
Thank you very much. And
then lastly, I'm happy seeing some of my mentors here, especially Mama Hawa Babura and Yakubu Udil. Though I have not seen them physically before, but I used to follow them. Yes.
Thank you very much. And I think I'll really encourage you to go over YouTube, go over some of the programs that we've had earlier. You might benefit from those. You've mentioned that you're a postdoctoral researcher at the moment. You might benefit from some of those. And then, of course, you've mentioned Python. I think it's very, very important, especially those key programming languages for especially engineering students. As far as you're going for a PhD, one way or the other, or even when you're searching for jobs, then even if it's not part of the essential, it might be part of the desirable skills that are needed. And the good thing is there's loads and loads of YouTube videos rather than watching, I don't know, spending time watching unnecessary things. You could spend time on YouTube and learn from those, programming languages. So thank you for that advice, and do with some of our previous programs, and also do actively keep getting engaged. Thank you very much. Hafiz Muhammad, do you have Hafiz Muhammad? Yes, Hafiz Muhammad, do you want to share a story with us?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you so much. I'm a school teacher, and I had my Bachelor's of Science in Zoology at Ahmad Bello University, Zaria, and I'm currently doing a Master of Science in Zoology at Federal University, Dusai. I have been following the
I don't know whether that's just me or it's everyone else's.
Arewa Youth Mentorship, particularly the
Is that just my network, or is it everyone else's, or is it?
It's not your network alone.
Okay, all right.
Not your. It's from his.
Okay, Hafiz, we unfortunately we're not able to hear you due to, I guess, network issues. But thank you for willing to share that story with us. I'll call on Junaidu Yusuf. And just as I've mentioned, just want to remind you that what we want to hear is how we've impacted into some of your successes, or how we've helped you overcome some of the challenges that you've experienced. Saifullahi Kabiru Sayidu. I think this would Saifullah would be the last person that we'll hear from.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Saifullahi Kabir Saad from Zaria. I studied my undergraduate at Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, BSc Applied Chemistry. And I did my NYSC at Federal University Dusama in 2020. Then I secured a scholarship from my state government, that's Kaduna State Scholarship Allowance Board, just as my colleague mentioned, Suleiman Abbakar. So we went to the same school, University of Liverpool. We have faced a lot of challenges because the educational system of Nigeria and that of UK is entirely different thing. I need this Arewa Youth Mentorship to be guiding most of our students that are searching for opportunities abroad to pay much attention, not only on what they have learned here in Nigeria, because it's entirely different thing. It happens to me, I went there for an MSc, but I ended up graduating with postgraduate diploma. And currently, I got employed at Kaduna State University. I've started working there as a graduate assistant, but I'm still continuing to pursue more opportunities in other schools, inshallah.
Thank you, Saifullah. And again, I think we've had.
And this is my first time joining this.
Yes,
meeting.
It seems like this is your first time. So thank you for willing to share your story. And I would encourage you to go over any of the social media platforms. There's a number of programs that we've had. You could listen to those, and I'm sure those would be, one way or the other, would really benefit from those programs. So thank you very much. And I think now I'll call on Dr. Mariam. There was a question earlier for you of, a challenge of really.
Yeah, actually, there are two questions. The first one is handling the challenges of working with children in the UK.
Yes.
Yeah, and the second question is, how were you able to deal with the imposter syndrome, which you said was a major issue during your studies?
Dr. Mariam, are you close by?
Yes, I'm here.
Salam.
Yeah, so I would say, so let me first of all attend to his question before I forget. So that's the imposter syndrome. So it's just feeling that everything is fraud, feeling that you don't own your accomplishment. Perhaps maybe you're working with others, you end up attributing the success to them rather than yourself. So, and the best way to overcome that, or I would say the best way I've overcome it, was to work harder, to convince myself that I really did the work. So it could be, I would say maybe an experience was publishing a paper, and then you work with collaborators and then they did part of the work, you did part of the work. It's just to work harder, to be able to contribute a lot, to the extent that you convince yourself that there's no way this could be a fraud. There is no way this could be by chance. So that's the kind of ways I have dealt with the imposter syndrome, is to work harder, always aim for the high standards, always aim for the good. So, and it's quite convincing. For example, you wrote an exams. So there is an exams and you wrote the exams. There's no way it could be. So if you happen to get 100%, there's no way that could be by chance. There's no way it could be that I escaped, right? So by taking yourself to that level, that's how you can challenge those feelings that you are not owning your own accomplishments and so on. So I would say the advice that I've given, maybe the last slide, was to work harder and harder, and always aim for the high standards, and always be able to convince yourself that you really own those accomplishments. Don't attribute them to others. So the second question was really the difficult question, because I would say it's really about the work-life balance. So how am I able to maintain that balance between having children and at the same time trying to chase a career? So but the first thing I always tell people, and I always say this, is don't underestimate the power of prayers. So always, always, always pray over whatever you do. Always ask Allah for the guidance. Always ask Allah for the guidance. So it might sound really very simple that each time I end a prayer, I pray to God, help me, I'm embarking on this journey. Allah, guide me through. But you just see yourself going through those bridges, and it's really the power of the prayer. It's really with God. So the success goes to God. So apart from that, I would say another thing that is really very important is your support. So the type of support that you have. Don't underestimate the support you get. So this could be family support. I would say mine was really a strong family support. Most of the support comes from the person next to me, and I don't have to really go into details about that. So it's the kind of support, and the support, the stronger the support, it all goes back to you, is who you are as a person, who you are in fulfilling your own responsibilities. Then when you need support from people, they'll be able to support you. So I have a very strong support network, I would say, that I'm able to embark on the journey through. And another thing is being organized and disciplined. You need to be really organized in what you're doing. So organized to the sense that you wake up in the morning, you just have a book. And in that book, you just list what you're going to do for the day. You just have to list it, what you want to do. Even if it's as simple as washing the dishes, put it down, wash the dishes, take care of the children, take them to school, whatever it is, listed, because it gives you this list that you'll just be ticking through, and you know that you've accomplished what you have planned to do for the day. So this goes back to planning. You have to really plan yourself and don't waste your time in unnecessary things. So, and try to be disciplined in the sense that you don't take other things out of your schedule. Of course, you have to be flexible with families. Sometimes things crop up, but try to discipline yourself. Try as much as possible to be organized and really know that you are doing this for yourself. You're doing it for yourself because the immediate benefit of it comes back to yourself and on whoever your support network is. So I need to really cut this short. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Dr. Tariq, I know we are running out of time. But just to Dr. Ahmad, you know, we especially in the North, we have this kind of humbleness of attributing, you know, not trying to show off on our successes. So what I drew from Dr. Ahmad's statements is that he capitalizes or he emphasizes that he was lucky, but in real sense, it really wasn't luck. And I think that is important for the mentees we have here to know that it goes beyond just luck, you know, because it's obviously about his hard work and determination, not luck. Of course, there are natural endowments, people who are born with special talents. But after we acknowledge that, we must also come to acknowledge that he has been very persistent. He has been very determined to be the successful person he is. And I think this is what our mentees should realize. It goes beyond just success. It has to do with your determination, your effort, and your persistence. And I was talking to Dr. Yakubu, I just tagged him on the post yesterday about the issue of resilience, which I think we should also come to and talk, because most of our youth lack resilience. When they apply once and they fail, they give up. So let's acknowledge we are lucky in some instances, but also emphasize that luck is not enough. You have to be hardworking.
Yes.
That is really important. Thank you very
much. That's true. Thank you very much for pointing that out, and I totally agree with you. It's not it's not all about just being lucky. Of course, you do have to put in that time, that effort, and I think that was the rule that if for you to be very excellent in something, you have to put in at least 10,000 hours. Even though there were a lot of discussions on that, whether that's true or not, but then you still have to put in that time, and that's great. It's not all about just trying and you failing. You have to put in an extra effort into whatever it is that you're doing in order to really succeed. So thank you very much for those questions, and thank you very much the mentors for chipping in to tell us about your challenges. But then finally, I think I'll call on Dr. Yakubu to give us the closing remarks, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll see you soon after Eid, inshallah. Dr. Yakubu, do you want to give us the closing remarks?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tariq. Today is indeed a special one for me. I'm really elated, hearing from these testimonies from our beneficiaries. Our aim actually is to make an impact. And I'm happy that we have heard from them that at least 1 or 2 people have gotten slots in different places, universities, jobs, and the rest. So I think, alhamdulillah, we have so far achieved so much. And we hope with our continuous collective efforts and cooperation, we will achieve more. And secondly, for those that are joining us for the first time, I will encourage them to use our data bank, the resource we have on YouTube, because all our sessions are already documented on YouTube. So instead of just like missing the past sessions, I will really advise them when they have chance to go through them and learn from them also. The links to our Telegram, to our YouTube, to our Facebook pages, all the social media handles, they are there on the Telegram page, so they can always access them. And I think maybe I should post the Telegram link in case for those who are not yet there. I will post it here in the chat box so they can join. So I think I will not have much to say this in conclusion, but I will say maybe see you soon in our next episode, where I will invite some other resourceful persons to deliver. Thank you very much. Back to you, Dr. Tariq.
Yes, thank you very much. I think this brings us to the end of the session. You've been an amazing audience. Thank you very much, and do have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, and bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Udu. Thank you,
so
Prof. Tatafi. Okay.